money and all kinds of things, and now you are dealing with them. It was almost unconscionable, but it had to be done. And in the process, some of us almost lost our lives. Because then the pressures within and without. Because you are cutting off the source of funding. For both parties, they will come after you. So we have created a system that legitimizes and institutionalizes the corruption. And at the same time, we say we want to deal with the corruption. The solution is to deal with the system. When you deal with the system, then you no longer have this awkward situation where you go and collect money from the person. When you come into power, then you have to investigate the person or pretend to investigate the person, whichever way it is. So one party will talk about it. When they come, check all the corruption-related cases. From boss to whatever. Check. It's linked to campaign financing. There's always a financier there. Why you think we are foolish people? Why is it that sometimes you ask yourself about which sensible person will sign this contract or will agree to this deal? Haven't you asked yourself that question? It's because our hands are tied.
So are the hands of politicians tied? Do politicians have no choice when they are faced with the hard decision to act against the greater good? Is the Ghanaian politician corrupt, or it's the system that makes them corrupt? You just heard Elvis Efriye Ankra, and we are going to ask these pertinent questions this morning on the Super Morning Show. Shortly, we'll be opening the phone lines for you to comment. 0302 216 541 0244 340 437. But before I bring in Malik Abbas Dabo and Papaya Wasari here with us this morning, let me say good morning to all of our listeners in Kumasi. Love 99.5 FM is the dial. In Takrade, Radio Max 105.1 FM, and also in Cape Coast ATL 100.5 FM, in Sunyani Sky FM, and in Tamale 123 FM 99.7. Guys, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Daniel.
Good morning.
Let me start with you. Yes, good morning again, Malik. Let me start with you, Papa.
Yeah.
Is the Ghanaian politician corrupt, or it's the system that makes them corrupt?
Wow. Yeah, they are. I mean, there's no doubt that politicians are corrupt. If you look at various studies from the CPI to the Afrobarometer Service, you get to know that the perceptions of corruption amongst politicians, they always rank very, very high. Indeed, when you also look at trust and also in public officials, the round 6 and also round 7 of Afrobarometer will tell you that those rankings were very, very, very low. Trust among public officials were very low. And quite curiously, the rankings that were high were among military officers and also religious
leaders.
Religious leaders, which brought the debate about whether are we calling for military and all of that. But that's a separate conversation. But right to the substantive question, I think it just boils down to in two things: our cost of politics and also campaign financing. We make noise in this country about widening the tax net, and I say, well, you have to start from home. Charity begins at home. So what do I mean by that? So it means that the politicians should also broaden their scope of getting finances from their supporters. I would imagine, so let's say that there are 4 million supporters of Party A, and even if everybody brings about one Ghana cedis, that will amount to 4 million Ghana cedis. That's quite a lot of money to undertake any political adventure or any political campaign. So because if I'm a businessman and I invest my money, in economics we say that every person is a rational human being. So if I make an investment, I also expect a return. So you don't expect that a big business or anything would put money inside and will not expect anything outside of that. So in that sense, they are also very, very tied. The part about the system is also that the question is who makes the system and who runs the system. It's human beings that runs the system. You have an opportunity to be an ethical leader. You have an opportunity to reject cutbacks and all of that, and absolutely do the right thing, you have an opportunity not to evade taxes, have an opportunity not to breach the procurement law and all of that. But these guys still go ahead and still do it. So then I'll just conclude that yes and no, because one, their hands are tied because of the business, how do you call it, the business collections that they make in terms of campaign financing, and also because of their own inability to exhibit ethical leadership in their process of governing the country.
So you say the system helps politicians to be corrupt, but then politicians in some cases are inherently corrupt.
Great.
Okay, that's an interesting thought, particularly what you said about campaign financing and the cost of politics. You mentioned that. Malik, would you agree on that leg that if you look at the cost of running a campaign and you look at how difficult it is to raise funds ground up in Ghana, generally, whether it's you're doing it in government or for a political party, politicians are forced to sometimes tie their hands to these persons with other interests?
I think I agree with large parts of what Papayao said. I like Mr. Free Ankra. He is or was regarded as one of the rising stars in our national politics because of his own charisma, his articulation, his verve, But the point about politicians' hands being tied, I completely disagree. Do you remember not too long ago we were told, and I believe so to be true, that no one is forced to be a politician. That politics and leadership in the political arena, it's not like traditional leadership where traditionally Papayao, if he is in the line of chiefdom, he can be taken and forced and made a chief. In politics, no one is forced to be MP or to be DC or to be president or anything. You go out there and tell the people that you want to serve. Now you go and take money from somebody and you know that the person who is giving you the money expect that you will engage in some impropriety for the benefit of this person who is giving you the money. So right from day one when you are taking the money, you know what the consequences are. So you go and take the money, go and run your campaign, you win the election, you go and give very dubious contracts to this person, and then come and tell us that, oh, my hands were tied. At what stage were your hands tied? Did you not know? Were you forced? You made a choice. You made a choice that you want to lead. And as Papayao said, if your choice is that from day one you don't want to be an ethical leader, that you are going to take money from people. And I remember yesterday when you were putting these arguments to him, he said we were being pretentious. How are we being pretentious? The other people that we are learning democracy from, is that how they practice their democracy? Ghana's elections are no more expensive than US elections. But no US politician can say, I am given a contract which does not make sense because I have taken donor money and I have funded my campaign. And when I come into office, a contractor or somebody who gave me money to run my campaign, I must necessarily give them contracts that do not make any sense.
But you see, Malik, isn't that the point? Why are US politicians, if we are going to use that example, why are they free from influence or free to an extent? Because we also know that some persons, it has been found that some persons can influence politicians to an extent.
Because...
No, I haven't asked my question. Why can you say that so confidently? First of all, they get funding from the state. They have a limit to how much money they can take from a single individual. And those laws make sense. I mean, those laws are enforced. So isn't that what Mr. Free Ankra was calling for?
Yesterday, you asked him a question. When the political parties' law require the politicians to file their
returns, their audited accounts,
audited accounts with the Electoral Commission, How many of them do it? In the last election, before the elections, both major parties after an IPAC meeting confessed that they had not filed their audited accounts with the Electoral Commission.
Actually, since my last checks, both of them have not filed for post-election 2016.
I remember at the time, someone, Papa Kwesi Ndum specifically, was arguing that the Electoral Commission should enforce its own laws. That if these people are required by law to file their audited accounts and they don't do it, sanction them. Why don't they file their audited accounts? Because they take money from sources that the law actually prohibits them from taking. Is there any law which allows the politicians to take money from a business person, and then when they come into office, they give all manner of deals to this business person and then say that they cannot hold the person accountable? And Papayo made a brilliant point. The last election, the NPP presidential candidate more than 5 million votes, right?
Yeah.
Those 5 million votes, if you take a quarter of them, that's 1 million of them, or 1,250,000 or something. Say 1.1 million, that's a quarter of them. If that 1 million people pay the party 5 cedis each every month, do you know what that means? That's more than 4 million cedis every month, or 5 million cedis every month for the party. But you know what? Just as the parties, when they are in government, they are lazy and won't expand the tax net, widen it, and capture everybody, they won't take money from their own party people. They will go and take money from business people who have an interest when they are giving you the money.
In
and
fairness,
the
some of these
businessmen
are they are members, aren't they?
That's even,
so nothing stops these members from contributing.
That even strengthens my argument. So if you go and take money from your party person, and whose contribution to the party is only because the person expects that when your party comes into office, that you can give them deals. And then why are we even saying this? Are we saying that if you give the person a contract which is executed properly, which makes sense, in which there is value for money, that the person can't make money, must you necessarily give the person a dubious contract in order for the person to recoup their investment?
But as a matter of principle, we shouldn't even get to the stage where contracts are given to people who contribute X or Y amount to political parties.
What is germane?
This conversation is not over.
No, what is germane, Daniel, is that he says that sometimes the contracts don't make sense. And I am saying, can you not give a contract that gives the Ghanaian people value for money, but still helps your donor to make money?
Right. It's 15 minutes past 7. It's 15 minutes past 7 on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. I'm going to ask you to answer my question for me. Is the Ghanaian politician corrupt, or it's the system that makes them corrupt? The phone lines are 0244 340 437 0244 340 437. You can also call 0302 216 541 0302 216 541. Now, Africa is full of potential and people are getting things done. Businesses are on the rise, and Absa Group is tapping into this can-do spirit. As one of the largest companies listed on the JSE Top 40 Index on Africa's largest stock exchange, Absa Group delivers award-winning expertise to enable people and businesses to realize their possibilities daily. Absa Group, proudly serving Ghana as Barclays. For more, visit absa.africa. We've been joined by Bright on the line from the Volta region. Bright, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm fine, sir.
Answer this question for me before you go to our topic. Where are you listening to us from? How are you listening to us?
From Anyako.
Anyako. So how are you hearing us? What radio station are you hearing us on?
Oh, it's the Joy FM.
Okay. Bryce, go ahead, please. Is the Ghanaian politician corrupt, or the system makes them corrupt?
It is the system that makes them corrupt. Because the African by nature, it is not that type of person who could be corrupted. If you look at our traditional systems, the way we go about things. But it seems as if the political system we're practicing now, we've inherited it from somewhere. So it lacks so many things that has nothing to do directly with our cultural values. One, the system is so bad that when you look at it from the angle of financing political parties.
Okay.
Yeah, looking at it, the checks and balances that should work, especially the Electoral Commission checking the budgets or whatever funds that have been provided to the political parties in question. You see, those institutions are not working.
Okay.
So when you go into those things,
you realize that it's the system that makes them corrupt.
Very good.
Thank you very much, Bright, for calling us from the Volta region. Jake is on the line from Ridge. Good morning, Jake.
Hi, Daniel. How are you?
I am blessed. How are you?
Great.
So what's the
Daniel,
answer? The politician or the system?
Daniel, the system is run by human beings. So the system cannot actually make them corrupt, but they themselves are corrupt. If the person is coming into politics with the idea to make money, I mean, it started way back. You know, when the NDC time, the lady was talking on phone and said that I want to make 1 million Ghana cedis and media. That's it.
She said $1 million actually.
$1 million.
Yes, Victoria Hammer.
So she couldn't even tell what she wants to do, but the mentality of actually gaining money. Now, when they come in, for instance, sometimes it's not actually a contract, Daniel. Someone can fund your what is called your campaign and tell you that, okay, I have these 5 people, I want you to employ them, they are my family members. What qualification do they have, Daniel? And you look at it that they occupy positions in our country, and you can see that someone is actually occupying a position that has total no idea with no qualification that I can do this kind of work. And you can't say no. And this is the thing, Daniel. When they try to fund your campaign, it doesn't end there to say that, okay, I'm helping you with this and that is it. The person keeps on coming on and coming on and coming on. So, Daniel, it can't be the system. They are corrupt, and they are rather corrupt in the system.
Thank you very much, Jake, for calling us from Ridge. Eugene is on the line from Akosombo. Good morning, Eugene.
Good morning. How are you?
I am blessed. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. So, system or politician, which one is corrupt?
It's the people that are corrupt.
The people. So, you think the politicians are the corrupt ones? Okay.
Yes. Because
why?
The system doesn't indicate anything, but it's the people that control the system, and so it's the people that are corrupt.
Okay.
The politicians that are corrupt.
Eugene, let me ask this question: do you think that politicians are forced to take money from businessmen to fund their campaigns because they don't get money from anywhere else?
They are not forced. That is the rule, and that's the way we want to. And so not force them. So, they deliberately would like people to finance.
Right.
Because there are so many views and so many, advice, like others have said earlier.
Okay.
They can, it's just like somebody who is schooling, and then you want to pay your fees. You have opportunity to do minor jobs or whatever.
So there are ways that the politicians, even with this system, can find money to fund the campaign. That's what you're saying. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Apart from
okay. Thank you very much, Eugene, for calling us from Akosombo. Collins is calling from the Ashanti region. Collins, which part of the Ashanti region? Kumasi, to be specific. Good morning to all of our friends listening to us on Love 99.5 FM. Now, in the first place, Collins, do you think that it is this politician himself or herself who is corrupt, or it is the system that forces the hands of these politicians to do corrupt acts?
Well, thanks. What you are saying is true, but I don't agree with you absolutely. But my mind is, it's time for us, for our politicians to change their mind. As for the financing political parties as countries, so it's up to the state, because the politicians to change their mindset in terms of dealing with the corruption, for the country to improve in terms of infrastructure and all across.
Right. Thank you very much, Collins, for calling us from Kumasi. Prince is calling from airports. Good morning, Prince.
Yeah, hello, Daniel. Good morning.
Yes, how are you?
Yes, I'm good.
Let's hear you.
Yes.
Is it the politician
Daniel,
or is the system?
It is we that are corrupt. And I'll tell you what. Immediately a Ghanaian is born into corruption. Our birth certificate, before you are born, for you to even acquire a birth certificate that legitimizes you as somebody that is born in this country, you must pay bribe. It is not even free. So that gets you into corruption. And once you are initiated, when you enter into politics, then that's the worst form of it. So it is we as a people that are corrupt. Unfortunately, we have created a system that reinforces that. In the U.S., of course, you have people that are corrupt, but thankfully, there's a system that checks these corrupt people.
Okay.
Yes, and that is a challenge we have as a people. Our system even doesn't work. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prince. Calling us from airport. Felix is calling from Japan. Good morning, Felix.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes, so I am blessed. How are you?
Yeah, the system.
Felix, sorry, we have some background, some feedback in the background. Can you please reduce your radio volume, or better still, turn it off?
All right, is it okay?
Yes, it's good now. You wanted to ask something?
Yeah, please. I want to ask a question. What is the system, and who is the politician?
Little one, the social studies question one. How much time do I have to answer it? No, but you've asked very important questions. But I think there's a submission on your mind you want to make.
Yes,
Felix.
The system is we, and the politicians also in the system. We are all the system. Okay. And the we that are at the background, maybe we don't have the power to be a politician or whatever. We are corrupted, the politicians, because anytime they want to do politics or to campaign for themselves to win, we demand money. Give us money so that I will campaign for you. Give us money so that I will vote for you. The person also doesn't have that money. So maybe he's trying to gather enough money with him and go and do that campaign.
Okay.
You understand? So the corruption started from the background, like how we understand politics. That's what brings the whole thing.
Thank you very much, Felix from Japan. Very important points, Malik. He says that it is how we understand politics that has left us in the situation that we are now. I'm going to bring you in on that point. Yeah.
Hello?
Mohammed, take your time. I'm here. Hello, Mohammed. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing.
You are calling from Ablekuma, right?
Yeah, thank you very
awesome.
much. I'm calling from Ablekuma.
Awesome. Answer our question for us. Is it the Ghanaian politician who is corrupt, or the system forces them to be corrupt?
Okay, I would say it is a system. But if we could be able to understand it's a system, that means we can reverse our thinking for the selfishness. Because every woman being know the good and the bad. Position that given to mankind or woman being is to take care of the young shall grow that coming. But today, look at how our motherland is so blessed with the kind of resources. But sake of selfishness, let me say, a leader that wants to lead people, want to harm everybody. That is what is taking the mindset out of the thinking, so that the person will be consuming everything to. That is where you will fall into corruption.
Okay.
Because if only we can serve the nation as God wants us to be a good servant, there's no way the corruption system will lead us.
Right. Thank you very much, Mohammed. Calling from Ablekuma. I have another caller, Godfred from Kumasi, who is my last caller. Good morning, Godfred.
Yeah, good morning, Danny.
Awesome. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I think, Danny, it's both ways. Because, you see, some people before they go into politics have already made up their mind that they are going into politics to make money. And even their family members expect that once they get into a political position, they should be able to make money. So some people go into politics with a mind to make money. And then the system is, you see, somebody will go into politics with a clean mind. But when he gets into politics, the people, if he doesn't want to be corrupt, the people in the system will even tell him that, this is not how things are done here. This is the way it is done. So the system corrupts even the incorruptible ones. They are able to corrupt them. So it is both ways.
Okay.
It is both the people and then the system.
Thank you very much, Godfred, for calling from Kumasi. I don't know if it's because he knew he's the last caller, but he sort of, capped the entire conversation for us. It's 27 minutes past 8 on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. I'm going to take a few messages shortly, but before I do that, let me come to Malik and Papayao and ask them to give their final comments. However, we have a response here from Elvis Ifriye Ankra himself. He is saying, "Good morning. I respect the opinions of your panelists, but respectfully, if you frame the question in a very simplistic term, as are politicians corrupt, we may not be able to deal with the issues properly. The question should rather be, should we be looking at reforming campaign financing in Ghana? That respectfully would put the issues in their proper perspective." Elvis Ifriye Ankra believes that the way we are asking the question this morning does not work for the results that we want.
If we were to change it to what he suggested, our arguments will still be relevant. Respectfully, in this country, there are laws prohibiting political parties from taking funds from foreign donors and foreign institutions and foreign companies and foreign individuals living outside Ghana. But we know that our political parties do that. They take money. I think that what he's suggesting amounts to, in my view, blackmailing the Ghanaian people. You take money when you're not supposed to take the money, get the power that you want, that we didn't beg you, you came asking for it, and you take money to come and get it. And when now you get it, you say, well, you can't really do right by us because you took money from somebody that we didn't ask you to go and take money from. And now you tell us that, okay, your hands are tied, so we shouldn't expect too much because you can't do much because you chose to go and take money from somebody. Do you remember Jesse Jackson Jr.?
Yes.
5 years imprisonment. For what? Because he used campaign funds for his personal benefit and he didn't declare gifts. He didn't declare them. How many of our politicians do not receive gifts that they do not declare to anybody? That we have rules and laws and codes against certain categories of gifts. They take the gifts. We know, we have seen people receive all kinds of gifts. Remember when 7 Series BM was bought for a minister to inspect roads? 7 Series BM. He took it. It took the president to take back the vehicle from him. He still kept his job. So the reforms he's talking about, there already are laws prohibiting the conduct that the politicians engage in. But they ignore everybody and they engage in that conduct. They cannot now come and tell us that their hands are tied and they can't do right by us. They still take money anyway when they have the power.
You mean
so
when
they just don't
government?
take the money to campaign. Even when they get the power, they still take the money.
Maybe because they need to fund the next
his
election.
Political party, the antecedent of his political party came to power through a coup. And they stayed in power for 11 years. And then whilst they were in power, they obtained more power. How did it become necessary for them to obtain money from any business person to fund their campaigns? So I don't understand why that is an issue at all. If all of them, both MPP, NDC, CPP, PPP, all of them, refuse to give money to people when they go on campaigns, if they refuse to dole out money and put money in match boxes and distribute to people, the people will stop demanding money from them. And so we won't have this problem of, oh, we need too much money to go and campaign to get power, and because it is competitive politics. If it is competitive politics and you are willing to do that which is wrong, when you come into office, you can't say your hands are tied.
Let me give the final word in this conversation to Papaya. Sorry, Papaya.
Yeah, so just some costs of politics. We are always saying that there's so much incentive for people to go into parliament. So thankfully, we have a research that was done in 2017 by CDD and also the Westminster Foundation, and they found out some very, very interesting results here, Daniel. So they found out that between 2012 and 2016, the cost of electing a member of parliament to serve a 4-year term increased by 59% by a candidate to spend. That was from as much as to about 403,750, which in dollar terms would be 85,000 Ghana cedis. So in 2016,
it's $5,000.
Yeah, 85,000 Ghana cedis. Thank you, Danny. $85,000. I don't know why I keep saying cedis. $85,000. So it's quite a bit of money for them to get into parliament. So we can look at that kind of arrangement and that kind of spending and what the incentives they have and what kind of cost that they have to bear when they come into governance.
Right, thank you very much, Papaya Asare, for sort of putting a number on some of these demands that are there. It's 28 minutes to the top of the hour. We're going to take these important messages, and when we come back, we'll be in the studio with Dr. Alidu Seidu and Magnus Note Okwe, otherwise known as Ni Note Tiaka II. He was a prison officer at Asha Force. He was chief superintendent and the 2IC from 1975 to 1983. He's seen it all. We're going to ask ourselves if we have indeed learned the lessons that we should have learned when those 3 judges and a military officer were shot in cold blood and their bodies were set ablaze. Is our nation better after efforts like the National Reconciliation Commission and all of that were put in place? Well, we would be delving into those issues. Your comments there are welcome. 0244340437. That's a WhatsApp line. But if you want to pursue higher education abroad, kickstart your academic excellence by attending the Study World UKAS Study Abroad Fair on Tuesday, 9th October 2018. UKAS is an education consultancy that provides free and impartial counseling and application services for students wishing to study and live abroad. Attend our October 2018 Study World Study Abroad Fair and meet with representatives from over 40 universities and colleagues from the USA, Canada, UK, Ireland, and Australia. Venue is Kempinski Hotel, Gold Coast City, Gamal Abdul Nasser Avenue, Ridge, Accra. Date is Tuesday, 9th October 2018. Time 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Pre-register now for fast-track entry at ukas.com.gh/registration. For further inquiries, call 0243 245 355 or 0508 976 300. Now, the Labadi Beach Hotel, in partnership with Joy FM, brings you Oktoberfest 2018. Catch all the fun with German food and drinks live at the Labadi Beach Hotel this October. Date is Friday, 5th October from 5 p.m. to midnight. Saturday, 6th October from 2 p.m. till midnight. Performing live is the amazing Schluten Flitzer Band from Germany. There will be lots of fun in our Kiddies Corner for all the children. For inquiries and bookings, please call 0544 431 213 or 0540 123 691. It's Oktoberfest 2018. Let's celebrate. We'll be back after these important messages.
It's a new day. I want you to first think big.